Hi, good morning to all my dear NEET students and your parents. Okay, so this is Mr. Bhanu Moorthy Sharma, senior most physics faculty member in Hyderabad. This is my own institution. This is my own house. I'm conducting NEET entrance physics classes as well as IIT-JEE mains classes and advanced classes. So good morning to all. Very happy news I'm going to announce. On May 7th, 2023, NEET entrance examination date has been announced. Okay, the entrance date is May 7th, 2023. So my dear NEET students, I introduced myself in the previous video classes for the last 2 months. You go through those videos. Up to 8 video classes I projected. Now this is a 9th video class. Now I am starting for NEET entrance students. Okay, those who are going to write NEET entrance examination. Now chapter wise I am going, video class wise. Okay, this is the first video class for NEET entrance students only. So my coaching is entirely different, conceptual oriented and numerical models. Those will be helpful to you in entrance examination. So my dear NEET students, you listen carefully all those chapters conceptual wise. Okay. Now today in this video class number 9, so I am going to project friction chapter. Okay. You please observe all those points. It will be helpful to you for securing good rank in entrance examination. I am conducting this tuition point for the last 20 years. I have 28 years of teaching experience in Hyderabad. I worked in different corporate institutions. I established my own video channel now. Thanks to YouTube channel, because you are providing me excellent platform to serve for the students. Okay. Now this is friction chapter. Now I am going to conduct. Listen carefully. Model number 1 I am projecting. A body is placed on the surface, rough horizontal surface it is. It is pulled by, say for example, 5 Newton. Model number 1 I am telling. And in the backward direction between the surface and the block, coefficient of static friction is given as 0.5, coefficient of kinetic friction is given as 0.3. These two coefficients of friction are given, that is static as well as kinetic. And this is a static frictional force you can calculate, mu s mg. Kinetic frictional force you can calculate, mu k mg. The question is what? If pulling force is 5 Newton, what is the frictional force? Question number 1. If pulling force P equals to 5 Newton, that implies friction is how much? This is a question they will ask in an entrance examination. Very excellent, magnificent question it is. If P equals to 5 Newton, what is the friction between the surface and the block? So pulling force is given, these two coefficients of friction are given, and G value is given as 10 meters per second square. Mass of the block also is given as 2 kg. My dear students, so answer I am doing now. I am doing the answer now. First of all, you should calculate static frictional force. Static frictional force is equals to mu s mg. Then if you calculate, you will get 10 Newton. By substituting mu s value 0.5, mass value 2 kg, G value 10. If you substitute, you will get 10 Newton. Okay. So what is the confirmation? So pulling force, static frictional force is greater than pulling force. Then immediately, my dear NEET aspirants, you should understand that the body is at rest position. The body is at rest position. Rest means what? Equilibrium position. Because friction is dominating, you know. So even pulling force is applied, 5 Newton, friction is dominating because frictional force we got 10 Newton, which is more than pulling force. So then friction is dominating. So we can understand that the body is in equilibrium. That is, the body is at rest position. If the body is at rest position, we know that under equilibrium condition, forces are balancing each other. So this is friction, this is pulling force, both are equal. So options are given as 5 Newton, 10 Newton, 6 Newton, different options are given, and 0 Newton given like this. So your answer is 5 Newton, because under equilibrium condition, frictional force, therefore frictional force balances with pulling force, that equals to 5 Newton. This is question number 1. Okay. So by giving all these values, they will ask to simply find the frictional force. So your confirmation test, first you have to find out Fs. If Fs value greater than pulling force, the body is at rest position, remains at rest position, equilibrium position. Under equilibrium condition, forces will be balanced. That point you should know. This is a conceptual based model. So friction balances with pulling force. These two forces are equal. So it is not 10 Newton now. Friction is not 10 Newton now. Friction is equal to pulling force under equilibrium condition. My dear NEET aspirants, try to understand this concept. Suppose in the next example, second question, if pulling force is equals to 20 Newton, my dear NEET aspirants, you observe carefully. If pulling force is 20 Newton, what is the frictional force? Very interesting now. What is the frictional force? Just you observe the first case. Okay, so we calculated the Fs value 10 we got. So answer I am doing now. So Fs first we have to calculate. Mu s mg, same data is given there. So you substitute the values there, you will get 10 Newton. But pulling force is how much given this time? 20 Newton is given here. Okay, so pulling force is greater than static frictional force. If pulling force is greater than static friction, what do you say? The body is in motion. Okay, na? So that implies the body is in motion. The body is in motion. That's all. When the body is in motion, what is the frictional force? Kinetic frictional force. Because by virtue of its motion, the frictional force is called as kinetic frictional force. So therefore, we can calculate kinetic frictional force like this. So kinetic frictional force, therefore, frictional force is equals to kinetic friction, that equals to mu kmg, my dear NEET aspirant. This is the answer. So mu k means what? Values are given 0.3 into 2 into acceleration due to gravity 10. If you substitute that value, so 0.3 into 2 into 10, that is 6 Newton. My dear NEET aspirants, then answer will be 6. So this same type of question it is, just they change the pulling force. So if pulling force is less than friction, answer is frictional force equals to pulling force. If pulling force dominates over frictional force, then answer becomes equal to kinetic friction, that is mu k mg. My dear NEET aspirants, this is the model number 1. I am going to project now here. Okay, so I projected. You observe this model carefully. Very important for NEET entrance point of view. Okay, immediately let us move to second model. Okay, model number 2. Let us go. My dear NEET aspirants, among Fs, Fk and Fr, so which force is dominating frictional force? So static friction. The body is at rest position, so then static friction is more than kinetic friction, then rolling friction. When the body rolls on the surface, the frictional force is very less. So this is the important point. And mu s also, coefficients also greater than, same relation, mu k greater than mu r. So this relation also they may ask in entrance examination. Okay, which coefficient is greater, they will ask. Okay, now my next method is okay, I am going to project acceleration now. A block is moving with the help of pulling force 20 Newton. Mass of the body is 2 kg is given. Question number 3 I am giving now. Mu s value is given as 0.5. Mu k value is given as 0.3. So this entire information is given to you. Acceleration due to gravity. A block of mass 2 kg is resting, is placed on a rough horizontal surface, and the block is pulled by a pulling force of 20 Newton. Then coefficient of static friction is given, coefficient of kinetic friction is given, acceleration due to gravity is given. The question is, what is the acceleration possessed by the body? So what is the acceleration of the body? So acceleration of the body is question mark now. This is the question number 3. So there is a possibility of asking this question also. So acceleration means actually F net force, pulling force minus kinetic frictional force. Because the block is already in motion, because pulling force dominates over static friction. In question number 1, 2 we discussed. So 20 Newton is dominating over static frictional force, which is 10. So the block is in motion. When the block is in motion, kinetic friction. Now I am asking now, what is the net force? Net force is two forces acting, pulling force and kinetic friction. So net force is equals to greater minus smaller. So net force is MA equals to pulling force minus mu kmg. Okay, so then acceleration equals to P minus mu kmg over mass. So this is the formula to find the acceleration of the block, my dear NEET aspirants. You please observe this concept also. Whenever the block moves with the help of this pulling force, and if the pulling force dominates over frictional force, static frictional force, then the body will be in motion. When the body is in motion, net force concept it is. I am particularly conceptual based. Okay, Bhanu sir is particularly about conceptual. Okay, conceptual is what? Net force equals to pulling force minus kinetic frictional force. With the help of this, so we can calculate acceleration of the block. You remember this formula also for entrance examination. Okay. Now our next model is like that. We can go through all these models now. Okay. Now, my dear students, this is a circular track. This is a circular track. A car is moving on the circular track. This is question number 4. Model number 4 I am projecting now. Okay. So a car is moving on the circular track. See here. A car is moving on the circular track. Okay. Going like this with speed. Its radius of the circular track is R is given. Okay. Now a car of mass m is moving on the circular track of radius r with certain speed. Acceleration due to gravity is given 10 meters per second square. The question is, with what maximum speed the car should move on the circular track so that the car does not skid? Does not skid means what? Does not skid means what? Actually, if the car moves very fast, it goes along the tangent direction. It does not turn on the circular track. So it moves along the tangential direction. If the speed overcomes, okay. If the speed is optimum, then it turns due to centripetal force. The concept is the frictional force between the tires and the track provides the necessary centripetal force. So concept is frictional force provides necessary centripetal force. My dear NEET students, observe this concept also. So frictional force is mu mg because mu value is given between the track and the tires 0.5. Okay. Mass of the car is given as 50 kg, whatever it may be, or 500 kg, like that. So mu mg is equals to mv square by r. Mm gets cancelled. Then maximum safe speed. This is the question. Maximum safe speed. Maximum safe speed on the circular track V is equals to, from this formula, under root over mu g r. This is the formula, because the radius of the circular track is given to you, acceleration due to gravity is given to you, and what is coefficient of friction also is given. Then what is the maximum safe speed? If that speed crosses over this value, under root mu g r value, the car does not move on the circular track. It follows what is that? Tangential path. Okay. So without skidding, maximum safe speed. Without skidding on the circular track, the maximum safe speed is, okay, the maximum safe speed is, okay. Let us move to next concept. Suppose in the same concept, if they ask maximum angular speed, my dear NEET students, maximum angular speed, if they ask, what is your answer? So is omega equals to V by R. That's all. In rotatory motion, V equal to R omega. Omega equal to V by R. We got here, then substituting this value here, you will get angular velocity. So it is measured in radians per second. It is measured in meters per second. My dear NEET aspirants, you observe this concept also. Shall we move to next model? Okay. So this is video class number 9. I am going to project friction concepts. So many students got rank with my effective coaching. Actually, so many students got rank. Okay. Now, next model is a block is pressed against a vertical wall. This is a vertical wall. A block is there, say for example a duster, whatever it may be. So a textbook is pressed against a vertical wall. So block mass is given, so its weight is mg downwards. Frictional force balances here, frictional force between the block and the wall, that is friction. Now we are pressing the duster with the help of this finger. Okay, this force is called normal force. Finger force, normal force, whatever it may be. The question is, a block of mass m is pressed against a vertical wall so that it does not skid. What should be the maximum normal force exerted on the block? What is the normal force? If we remove our hand, the block falls down. Okay, so the force needed, normal force needed so that the block does not slip on the wall. So what is the concept involved here? Frictional force balances with weight. That is a concept. So frictional force balances with weight of the body here. So frictional force means F equals to mg, but F equals to mu into n. This is a fundamental definition of friction. Mu times normal force, that is equals to mg. Therefore, normal force equals to mg by mu, my dear NEET aspirant. So if mass of the block is given 2 kg, okay, g value is given 10 meters per second square, and coefficient of friction is given to you as 0.5. Then question is, what is the normal force exerted without slipping the block? So normal force, therefore normal force needed without slipping of the block on the wall. So this is the next, this is the model here. Concept is what? Frictional force provides necessary weight of the block. So both are balanced each other. So that is the reason why the block is not falling. So minimum force required not to slip. Okay, now? So a block is pressed against a wall. This is the topic. A block is pressed against, a block is pressed against a vertical wall, against a vertical wall, and if the block does not slip, then what is the condition for normal force? My dear NEET students, you observe this concept also. Okay, shall we move to next model again? So suppose if the block, same block is pressed between two hands, between two walls. So wall number 1, this is wall number 2. Same block is pressed between two hands, between two walls. Then what is the normal force required in this case? So here it is pressed with a finger, okay, single finger, okay, only one wall is there, but here it is pressed between two walls, it is pressed between two hands like that. So then here normal force required asking here. Here also normal force is asking here. Then concept is weight of the ball balances with two frictions. My dear NEET aspirants, because two walls are there, no? So two frictions will be there, no? Between the frictional surfaces and block. Two frictions will be acted in the upward direction. Sum of those two frictional forces balances with weight of the block. So 2F balances with weight, 2 mu N balances with weight, then N equals to mg by 2 mu. This is the formula to find normal force, my dear NEET aspirants. Okay, so I think IIT students are also writing examination in the month of April. In the second shift they are writing. So for them also, these coaching classes are very helpful to them also. So my dear NEET aspirants as well as IIT aspirants, if you like this video, share and subscribe this video and do viral to your friend circle. Okay, now don't forget to press the bell button actually. So this is the video class number 9. Already I projected 8 video classes in the last month. So you go through all those videos. And now I am going to start after a long time. I am going to start NEET video classes to you. Because remember again I am projecting to you one sentence. NEET entrance examination has been announced. That is May 7th. 2023. So be alert, listen my classes, video classes. If you want to listen carefully and if you want to do all numerical models, and you please contact to these numbers, because I started this tuition point in my own house in VANASTHALIPURAM, BMS NAGAR, nearby Nagar Public School, situated at VANASTHALIPURAM, and my colony is Hariharapuram colony. It is a beautiful colony actually. It is situated nearby BMS Nagar, nearby DPS school, Nagar Public School. So I am conducting classes in my own house. Only physics classes I am conducting. For the last 20 years I am conducting the classes. All over India the students are listening my classes, NEET classes as well as IIT mains classes, and from America also they are listening my classes in the early morning hours. Okay, for them the night hours, that is. So here early morning hours. So my dear NEET aspirants, IIT aspirants, if you want to come and join in my institution, you dial to that number. We will discuss in detail. Right. Let us move to model number 6 immediately. From each and every chapter, nearly 20 models are there. Let us discuss 20 models in each and every chapter day by day. Okay? Right. Stopping distance. What is meant by stopping distance, my dear students? Stopping distance means a block is placed on the surface due to friction. Mu s value is given 0.5. Due to friction, what happens? The block moves slowly. Initially, it is moving with velocity v. Okay. Now, after some time, what happens? It comes to rest position. It is stopped here. It is stopped due to friction. So, because in the backward direction friction will be there, so it opposes the motion of the car. So that's why due to frictional force the block moves slowly, it gets retarded, moves slowly, and it comes to rest after covering the distance. Yes is the question mark. So velocity is given there. Say for example 54 kmph. kmph. 54 kmph means 54 into 5 by 18. We have to convert it into meters per second. That is 15 meters per second. My dear students, generally a car is moving now on the rough horizontal surface with a speed 54 kmph, kilometers per hour. So it is converted into meters per second by multiplying with 5 by 18 number. Okay, then 15 meters per second. So between the tires and the road, some friction is provided. So because of that friction, the motion of the car will be reduced. Okay, will be opposed. Okay, so finally it gets retarded and its final velocity becomes 0 when it is stopped. The question is, what is the stopping distance? After covering how much distance it will be stopped? That is the question. So v square minus v dash square minus v square equals to 2a. Yes, we can discuss. So 0 minus v square equals to 2 into minus mu g, acceleration, minus mu g. So acceleration formula in the case of friction, that is mu times g, acceleration formula. Okay, that is fundamental, into s. Then minus minus gets cancelled, s equals to v square by 2 mu g. My dear NEET aspirants, you observe this formula. Stopping distance means v square by 2 mu g, v square by 2 mu g. Velocity is given, okay, 15, and mu is given 0.5, g value 10 we can consider. Okay, so this is the formula. Stopping distance it is, okay, stopping distance. And the next one is stopping time. Stopping time, if they ask, what happens? After how many seconds, after how much time the car will be stopped? That is the question. Then you select first equation of motion, u plus CT. Then 0 is equals to v minus mu g, because of a acceleration direct formula, minus mu g. So into t, then t is equals to v by mu g. This is the formula to find out stopping time, stopping distance, stopping time. Just by giving mu value and velocity value, they may ask stopping distance as well as stopping time. Okay, my dear NEET students, this is the information I am giving to you. Only 5, 6, 7 concepts I projected in this video class. In the next video class, I am going to project some more concepts in friction related topics. Till then, bye bye, see you. If you want to join in this institution, you please contact that number. If you like this video, share and subscribe. Do viral these videos to all your friend circle. Okay, bye. See you in the next video class tomorrow, right?